couple of the brethren came in from, Hugh Lyman was one of them. He was in the bishopric, and he came along with the bishop, and they came in there and helped me on the tail end of it after I got it spread around a little bit.
So why did it start to set up? Just the way it had been mixed?
The way it had been mixed. They mixed it in their, they had the old style cement mixers at the time where they'd have to back in and dump it out of the back of them. And so that's how they were handling it at the time. And so...
it was at night.
Yeah, it was dark. I guess we had some lamps or something we could see something with. But anyway...
And you balanced yourself really well on those 2x4s. That was the span of the garage. You remember? I guess I'm not sure. Was there 2x4s in the center? Or how did you do it?
No, we would put 2x4s down. And then we would screed between the 2x4s.
Yeah.
To kind of level it up. I'd have to level them all off to do that. And so then we would screed between and set 2x4s on the edges and in the middle. And we would pour the far edges first, if I remember correctly, and then the outside door, that little compartment in there that we made a little compartment to store stuff. And then
a tool shed?
A tool shed. And we screeded that whole thing out. The whole thing out. And we had to water it down because it kept setting up. And spray concrete on it. So that's how we did it. But we did it. We finally got it.
Well, a basement was a whole different thing on that end of things, wasn't it? Because a basement, you didn't have the... I just remember the crickets down there at night.
Oh, in the basement, yeah. we poured the floor in the basement somewhat later. We probably poured the basement floor before we did the garage floor. I think we did. So I had to figure out how to slope all the concrete towards the drain in the middle is what I did. And then I figured out too how to put the bathroom plumbing in there and everything else downstairs. And then I put that sump pump in there. So that...
So did you take a couple nights of doing that then? They just brought the concrete and one night you do one room and the next night you do another, do you remember?
Well, it may have been a little bit longer than just night. It may have been, we would set up a certain section and we would dump the concrete in that section and then I had to put the tile in there, the big round tile, it became the sump pump, and set it in there, and then we could slope towards it. And then there was another drain line that sloped towards that drain line that went into the sump pump.
So why did you choose a sump pump?
Because the distance between the street and the house was so far that you had to slant the pipe coming up from the sewer drain outside. You could only bring it up to a certain distance, about 3 feet down from the house, because you wouldn't be able to slope it all the way out there. You had to slope about at least a 1/4 inch to the foot when you sloped it out towards the big drain out there. And when they were putting the gutter or the drain out there, I had to go out there and in order to get the right slope, I had to get us an air hammer to hammer out the floor in the drain, in the sewer drain.
Food is ready.
So I had to do that. And so that's what I was doing all that time. And that's when Paul, what was their last name? They lived across the street in the cement basement. Just had a flat roof on it.
Gunderson?
Gunderson, yeah. And Paul Gunderson was out there trying to help me slope things out and cut things in and everything. He was a cute kid.
That's sweet.
Oh,